I don't know if this counts as a dog whistle. Why don't you tell me in the comments when we're done? I think it falls in the same vein. How many of you have heard what a think tank is? There are many in the United States, both good and, in my opinion, bad. Like the influencers we talked about last night in Cottagecore and Tradwives, I don't see how this is much different. Because it is your thoughts being influenced. Your opinions being swayed. And it's not really talked about. Yeah. And if foreign powers can buy influence, guess who else can? WS groups with deep pockets. Some make the news like this one. Some hide in plain sight and have plausible names. Until you realize it's just second degree WS. Or quick buck. Or ones like this, VDARE, that aren't called out very loudly. All with lobbyists. Influencing your thoughts and your opinions. There's another think tank not a lot of people talk about, or don't realize it was. The Ahnenerbe. The originators of critical race. In theory, they influence the thoughts and opinions of their people. I mean, in the modern age, we call it propaganda, but it sounds a lot better when you repackage it as think tank. I know, right? Who'd have thunk it? A think tank thunk it for you. You see, the concept didn't start with them. They took the concept of the race and rethunk it for you. You see, like last night's video, it began with the Armenian runes. A complete fiction, one invented by Guido von List. And they did that because the Old Norse runes were just not old enough. So they thought up an invented language, and they would have to tie it to a much older civilization. One like Atlantis. Yes, they thought the Vikings were from Atlantis. They bought it back then, I don't know. So they brought out their best pseudo-historians and best pseudo-archaeologists. And they went looking in the Canary Islands. Oh, that's my little helper. Duke the Dookie. He helps me protect anonymity and cover up the no-no words. He's just doing his duty. Duty! Anyway, when that didn't pan out, they tried Tibet. And they spent a lot of money doing this. But because it took so much time to travel and research and dig and plausibly explain this, well, it had a lot of time to have propaganda put up around it and placed into public sentiment. The whole do it or else probably had a lot to do with it. Or the threat of showing dissent and your kids turning you in because they're part of the youth. A lot of people were doing the thinking for others back then. And before anybody asked me, no, the whole Antarctica thing had nothing to do with the race. They wanted to set up an outpost because they needed whale oil for the war effort. But yeah, think tanks. Influencing your thoughts and opinions and lobbying the same thing of our legislators. There are more of them than I care to mention, all influenced by the many kind of groups we've categorized in this playlist. The ones with the dog whistles. The ones using a bunch of dark money. Because once it's in the dark, it's untraceable. Don't know who's doing it. Helps you forget about them. Best focus on the nitwits on the bridge with the banner. Not what these guys are doing. Oh, found another one. But these people don't have whistles. But I thought they deserved their own video. I just thought you should know. Because knowing is half the battle. The other half is anti-bribery legislation without any workarounds. Just one more thing co-opted by WS groups out of many. Make sure your thoughts and opinions are your own. And I'll see you next time. Ah-cha-cha-cha-cha.